Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog, nice. Coming at you with another top 10 video of 2021. I'm capping things off for this series. This is going to be my top 10 action figures across any line for 2021. All right, let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
So, like my top 10 comic-based Marvel Legends of 2021, my top 10 action figures across any line of 2021, those slots are going to be reserved for figures that are beautifully crafted, have great articulation, a bevy of accessories, lends to swapping accessories and parts with other lines, overall compatibility with other lines, and of course, fun factor. They also had to be things that I purchased and was able to open and handle in 2021. A couple things didn't make the list because they are still on my pile of loot, haven't shipped, and I don't have them in hand. Although my number one Marvel Legend of 2021 is usually somewhere in the top 10 overall figures and probably should be in theory, in past years that figure has been somewhere toward the top, which is essentially the bottom on this list. I'm bypassing that figure, the AOA Colossus Build-A-Figure, and he only gets an honorable mention here. I'm also bypassing Hercules and MODOK, who were also high or low, but high on my list, in favor of my number 10 from the comic-based Marvel Legends list. Yep. Strange, but hear me out. My number 10 figure of the year is going to be the HasLab Marvel Legends Sentinel because as a complete offering, it's very good. 3 interchangeable heads, 1 battle damaged, along with 1 interchangeable battle damaged hand, 2 long bendy wire tentacles, 2 additional figures, technically 3 as you can make Bastion or a male Sentinel Prime figure with the male buck, battery operated lights, and a massive Sentinel with a great range of articulation despite the QC issues. Still loads of fun factor and compatible with any other 3/4 inch or 6 inch Marvel figures. Its size, however, does make it a bit of a chore to take out, set up, and display with, so it's not something you're doing as often as a typical 6-inch Spider-Man figure, for instance. So he's high on the list, but deserves a nod. Number 10, HasLab Sentinel. My number 9 slot, another odd choice, but absolutely necessary for all the reasons I stated I'd be picking these particular figures for in the opening. It's not even a humanoid figure, so maybe you can guess, but number 9 is going to go to the Mythic Legion's horse. Aetherus, I don't know, horse guy. Horse. He's not a guy. Yes, a non-Marvel, DC, Star Wars, or anime-based figure, and basically like a sidekick of sorts for a line that is super underrated, but not really because they clearly been doing their numbers for years. And the main reason here is compatibility. He can be paired with almost any and every 6-inch scale character or figure that requires a horse as a sidekick or a horse to ride on. Not only is it a wonderful looking figure with great posability, it's also easily customizable and kit bashable, if that's a word. It finally allows us to retire those old Toy Biz Lord of the Ring horses we've been fudging in displays for almost 20 years. I need multiples and I need multiple colors. A white and a black version is mandatory. Fun, photogenic, excellent figure. The number 8 slot is going to the Bandai Tamashii Nation's SH Figuarts Avengers movie Thor. Hands down their best Thor figure to date. They have been better after that abysmal Age of Ultron version, though. The Infinity War and Endgame versions are both good. It's just something about this guy that stands out. That nicely tailored bright red soft goods cape might be part of it. But this costume for the MCU Thor translates nicely into figure form. He can be paired up with not only the rest of the full Avengers movie team and his brother Loki, but this is also his costume from the first Thor movie. The potential for Asgard type displays, fighting Mythic Legion beasts, or even future displays with the possibility of import versions of Odin, Jane Foster, Coulson, etc. Oh, and the Nick Fury we already have. The spinning hammer effect was a nice touch, interchangeable hands, and an additional head sculpt, which I wish was actually a sort of an angry face variant. Tamashii is not really doing enough in terms of variation for their head sculpts. That different eye direction head sculpt trick is getting old, but still as a complete offering, this was one of my favorites on the year. Very well done. Number 7 is the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Gambit figure. In my humble opinion, this is their best X-Men costume offering to date, aside from maybe Deadpool if you want to count him. Tiger Stripe Wolverine has always been meh to me, although I'm absolutely stoked about and eagerly anticipating the 2.0 version of Tiger Stripe Wolverine. All the other sort of non-costume Wolverines have been great. Both Cyclops figures are whack, and aside from the leather bomber and the ruby quartz glasses head sculpt, I really don't like either of the Cyclops offerings. Both cables are undersized and underwhelming. Bishop looks promising, but he too seems like he will be undersized. Gambit, on the other hand, might be a little too tall, but he is phenomenal. Gambit and Mezco at their very best doing what they do, giving us stylized realism with some of the most natural looking soft goods for any 6-inch figures on the market. A great set of accessories, extra heads, hands, etc. that are in line and in tune with the character and that help show off his power set, as well as the ability to display him with or without his trench coat. This all lends to mega playability and fun factor. He also makes his other lackluster X-costumed buddies look better, although he surely outshines them all. He can definitely be integrated with other 6-inch lines. Hopefully at some point we will get a proper Rogue to pair with her Boog that looks equally as good, as Mezco seems to struggle with female characters. This was Mezco on top of their game, top tier, terrific textures. I was tempted to buy 2. Number 6 is going to be the Medicom Mafex Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Y'all know I love to hate Mafex, as I feel like they prematurely went for that price bump before they set everything straight in terms of their QC issues. And I feel like some of their so-called best figures are overrated, but we'll save that discussion for another day. Ben Reilly Spider-Man in this costume, as I prefer the hoodie look, has to be great to have made my list. I'm giving props where props are due, because this figure is probably better, definitely in terms of quality, than his predecessor, the Peter Parker comic-based Spider-Man. Mafex really stepped it up here, and it's evident right out of the package that this is a premium quality figure. He feels so much more durable and high quality, but still fits in aesthetically with all the other comic-based Mafex offerings, and he can surely be fudged with other lines. All the accessories you'd expect, and import level articulation that for certain is more dynamic than anything Legends is offering or Mezco can muster, while still using soft goods overlays. This figure is beautiful. Photographs nicely, decent unmasked head sculpt, great body sculpt, improved paint applications. This was a one-to-rock, one-to-stock purchase for me personally. Top notch. My number 5 slot is going to be another Mezco offering, the Rumble Society Hoods Vapor figure. This figure is what Mezco is. Can't lie, I get annoyed by the frequency of drops for the Rumble Society stuff very frequently, as primarily I want their licensed product. However, the Rumble Society stuff can be really good and offer some insane accessories. Mezco being a New York-based company, and me being a native New Yorker, and Vapor being a very New York-centric character with the NYC fitted, the kinda Jordans, and the technically Timbs, among a bevy of other seemingly urban hip-hop inspired goodies, just speaks to my soul. I mean, the whole graffiti artist shtick is brilliant, and there's never any shortage of foam brick walls constructed in the displaying community for Vapor to tag up. They even included scaled spray cans that can be shook to simulate the authentic spray can sound, and stickers that resemble graffiti art that can be applied to your foam brick walls. I mean, every accessory packed in with this guy can be utilized across all 6-inch lines and any number of creative, seamless blends. The figure itself is very well articulated with some extremely cool, expressive, and highly detailed head sculpts. The possibilities for displaying are endless when you start to swap clothing from other Mezcos, or maybe even venture out to third-party soft goods retailers for more variety. All these variables are about half of what makes him a great figure. The other 50% is just how much damn fun he is. The fun factor is through the roof. One of their best Mezcos, period, and definitely one of the best figures on the year. Number 4 is another Spider-Man offering, the Sentinel Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales Spider-Man figure. Our first Into the Spider-Verse figure from Sentinel, and they kick things off with the lead character, fitting, and while this figure was very good, clearly he's in my top 10, he didn't come without his flaws. The thing is, he was so extraordinary that I could look past some of these issues, and we even saw one of these things, probably my chief among the issues with this figure, could be remedied with a simple parts swap. First off, this figure trumped the Mafex offering, as that figure fell short but still paired up well with their Peter B. Parker, which, as I've stated before, he made the Mafex Miles better. The Sentinel Miles looks even better alongside Mafex Peter B, especially in their uniforms. The Sentinel head sculpts were spot on to the source material, with them giving us the very best unmasked Miles head sculpt from any 6-inch line. Where they dropped the ball is not offering an additional half-mask head sculpt for Miles. I also wasn't a huge fan of the non-hinging wrist pegs on the hands, and the relaxed hands were awkwardly sculpted and just looked bad. While I prefer the swappable plastic clothing parts of the Sentinel over what Mafex gave us for Miles, I didn't like how his arms couldn't sit flush with the sides of his upper torso. That too looked very awkward. Swapping soft goods onto the Sentinel version was an option though, and the paint apps and overall quality was high quality. Great posability, decent accessories that we can bolster by borrowing Vapor's accessories or any New York City kind of artistic comparable 6-inch scale accessories for that matter. The figure was clean and loads of fun. The most blaring issue was how his head sculpt originally sat on his neck, too low. A simple part swap with a 3D printed barbell ball peg from Figure Fix made him worth every penny. Would he still have made my top 10 without this fix? Absolutely, but this really took the figure to new heights. One of Sentinel's best and one of the best on a year. As I record this, my Sentinel Peter B. Parker is being delivered right now today. He looks like an early contender for a top 10 slot for 2022. I'm sure pairing him with Miles will make them both better. Oh, and I almost forgot, the shoestrings. What an unnecessary flex having swappable shoestrings tied or untied, but a great flex nonetheless. This figure was very, very well done. So right on cue, my number 3 figure of 2021 is going to be the Medicom Mafex Peter B. Parker figure. This was Mafex really finding their groove with this line as the lead out character and the star of the movie, Miles Morales. That figure was just okay. Not only did this figure come out great, but as previously mentioned, he made the Miles figure better. The soft goods clothing was better quality, could easily be used for other 6-inch scale Peter B's or Peter Parkers or any sort of tall, slender character. Great accessories overall, movie accurate head sculpts, and Spider-Man acceptable posability. The review I put together for this figure was one of my most watched on the year, just over 200k views, and a comment on that video review just came in as I penned this script. I've seen head swaps where people are using this movie figure as sort of a regular 616 Spider-Man, hand swaps, all sorts of swappable fun with this guy. He's indeed a very fun figure. Absolutely worth a spot on the list. Now, a little honorable mention at around the number 3 spot would be the Snake Eyes and Timber 2-pack, which was just phenomenal as a set, but Timber alone would have been recognized in some form or fashion if he came single-carded. I want to army build wolves, and I want Legends to take notice of what an articulated wolf can look like and what they can offer in terms of articulation once they get ready to give us a Wolfsbane figure. Snake Eyes was really just the icing on top with the all-black uniform, but I wasn't quite sure how to quantify the set as a 2-pack, so I gave Peter B the slot in the end. This was still one of the best classified series offerings and one of my favorite purchases on the year. My number 2 slot is going to another Mafex figure and probably their very best X-Men offering to date, the Raging Cajun Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit. Well, the brown suit Wolverine, now that he's out, might be up there with Gambit, but surely Gambit gets the edge with the soft goods trench coat and all the accessories, especially those representing his power set. This figure absolutely on the Legends offerings. Rivals the Mezco. Ironically, that's 2 Gambit figures from 2 different lines in one top 10 here, and I don't even feel the need to break out the Revoltech version anymore, aside from size comparisons. If we get a Figma Gambit and I need to show Gambit from all the major lines, then I'll break them out again. The coat was one of their best soft goods pieces they've put out, with plenty of bendy wire throughout. Like the Mezco version, he looked great with or without the coat, fully articulated and well articulated to display Gambit's uncanny agility. I feel like they went above and beyond with the accessories, and the accessories lends really well to ACBA and toy photography. They are made to be dramatically lit. This figure was lit, as he made the weaker Cyclops, Tiger Stripe Wolverine, and Psylocke, which were all lackluster, look a bit better. As we ease closer to a complete Jim Lee X-Men roster from Mafex, I really do hope they knock Rogue out of the park. But my number 2 on the year is Gambit. Quick honorable mention at around the number 2 slot. If I had it, I think that the Medicom Mafex The Dark Knight Returns Batman and Robin set would be around the number 2 slot. It was a re-release of Batman just in a different color, a brand new figure in the Carrie Kelly Robin, and I love the shots that I've seen with these two so far, but it's sitting on my pile of loot. I don't have it in hand yet. I still had to mention it. And my number 1 action figure across any and all lines of 2021. One of the most beautifully crafted, well-planned, and well thought out, fully accessorized, premium painted, expertly sculpted, remarkably realistic 6-inch scale bundle of joy is the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Conan figure. This figure surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect to like this figure so much. I'm not a huge Conan fan. I never really read the comics. I mean, who really cares about barbarians? But this bad boy was fire. As I'm putting this together right now, Mezco just put up a new drop for a Conan the Conqueror figure and a booster kit for the original Conan. So in the midst of my 2021 list, another potential contender for a 2022 list emerges. This figure was so damn photogenic, and despite being one of the least dressed figures from the current kings of soft goods for 6-inch figures, he worked out well. Great, highly detailed accessories, provided lots of playability, and with that comes fun factor, and he could absolutely be integrated with other lines. I love pairing him with the Mythic Legions horse and just other Mythic Legions in general. Really wish I had pulled the trigger on some of those bigger figures from Mythic Legions, but this dude is going to be in a ton of my photos in 2022. A lot of people missed out on this guy initially and been in FOMO mode until this afternoon when these new drops surfaced. This figure was dope. Really happy to have him in my collection. Really surprised a Mezco sort of like non-mainstream character is my number 1 in my top 10, but he is. Mezco Conan, best on the year of 2021. All right, let's get the discussion going. Let me know what your top 10 figures across any lines were in 2021. Don't forget to rate. Let's get the visibility of this video high. Hit that like button, hit the bell, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
I'm in the game, I'm grinding, I got to play 24 hours in the day, 7 days out the week, I never sleep. I'm on my grizzly bear, 52 weeks out the year.